The Headstock. Have you seen the new Headstock? It's only like 100 years old. What is happening, everybody? My name is Austin Randolph. If you kind of dig what I do here, if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be fabulous. I've been doing this for a couple months, and I'm having fun with it. So it'd be cool to, grow into, become a YouTuber. So, I'm testing the water. So if you like what I do, give me a sub. And like, interact, comment, all that good stuff that's helpful for the metrics. But today we're talking about Epiphone again. We're going to be talking about a lot about the shape here, the headstock, because pretty soon I have a feeling that every Epiphone guitar that has a headstock shape similar to this is going to be like worthless. So if you're watching this, you know that Epiphone announced maybe a month or so ago, and they're going to be rolling out into stores pretty soon, their new upper line of guitars. So for the last couple years, they're inspired by Gibson stuff, which is what this is. And they're replacing that now with, the big change is they're bringing the Gibson open book style headstock to the Epiphone brand. This new line of guitars, they're redoing the 1959 Les Paul. That's going to come in 3 finishes. Les Paul Custom is going to be in this new line, black and white. 1963 SG Custom, I think, the cool ivory one with the 3 gold pickups, and the Gibson Vibrato, Maestro, whatever they called it, whammy bar. And I think they're doing a 1959 ES355 too. So the big change that everybody's talking about is the headstock. And for some people, it's just a shape. And for other people like me, that shape kind of means a lot. I thought this shape was a vast improvement that Epiphone made when they brought in this is called the Kalamazoo-style headstock. However, if I'm being completely honest, at my core, in my gut, when I see this shape, even though I love this guitar, it's a great guitar, when I see that shape, I associate it with cheap. The other big selling point where Epiphone, it seems like, is really doubling down on the price increase, because all of these are pretty expensive. I think they're all $1,300, except for the SG is a little more because it has 3 pickups in it. And the reason that it's more expensive with 3 pickups is because I believe all of these come with Gibson Custombuckers in them. If you don't know what that is, those are the default pickups that all the Gibson Custom Shop guitars come with. They're $500 a pair, so it's a really high-end, expensive set of pickups. And I've only been doing this for a few months, but if I've learned nothing, what I've learned is people will find a reason and an excuse to bitch about anything. So, Epiphone announces this thing, and the headstock is the big thing that everyone has wanted them to change for 20 years or something like that. So, obviously, they announced this huge change, and the pickups. It's one of those things where, everybody's owned an Epiphone where, you wish the headstock wasn't the headstock, and you wish the electronics were, a little clearer, a little better, just a little, better quality pickup, which is this has Duncans in it. This is a perfect example of an Epiphone. I made a whole video about this Les Paul, go watch it. But, so literally Epiphone did that. Headstock, new shape, right? Well, the shape everyone's been familiar with for, the intro joke, 100 years. The pickups. Dude, the Custombuckers are a great set of pickups. And you know what's so funny? The first things that I hear everybody comment about on YouTube videos is, there's no way I'm paying $1,200 for that piece of shit with a Laurel fretboard. It's dude, I get it, right? I get it's not rosewood. I've got a PRS over there with rosewood. I mean, shit, even I bought a Sire just to see what all the fuss is about. That had a piece of rosewood on it. So I get it. I think the Gibson brand and Epiphone maybe went crazy with their purchasing of Laurel, and they need something to do with it. So I get it. But look, man, a good cut of Laurel, at least to my eyes, looks like a good cut of rosewood. The shit cut looks cheap, but the same applies to rosewood. I've seen some rosewood boards that are like, not amazing. I'm getting sidetracked. My point is, people will find a reason to complain about anything. And despite that, despite the Laurel board, despite the $1,300 for a guitar made in China, man, I swear this is going to be the best-selling line Epiphone's ever made. I was talking to the guys at my local shop maybe a week ago, and they're pretty conservative. They've been doing this. The shop's been around forever. So like when a company releases a new line, like when Gibson, I remember I was a kid and Gibson released like the robot tuner guitars. Even at the time, I remember them being like, we'll get a few. We'll see how they do, but we're not going to go crazy. And, it was kind of looking back on it now, everybody makes fun of it because it was kind of a flop. I was talking to some of the guys and they have ordered so many of these things, and I just don't see how this couldn't be a success. Like, if I already have so many guitars that I don't play enough, if I'm looking at the Ice-T Burst 59 going, ooh, that's like, if I'm doing that, then and I'm considering paying like brand new price for it, then I guarantee you there are plenty of people that make way more money than I do. And man, I just don't see how this isn't going to be their best-selling line. And I'm sure back in the 90s when Fender started putting Tellys and Strats out of a plant in Mexico with the name Fender on it, and Stratocaster and Telecaster, it was a little before my time. I was born in 95, but I'm sure there were plenty of people that were pissed back then because that's not a real Stratocaster, blah, blah, blah. How could you pay that much money for something made in Mexico? Like, so, I don't know. I'm pretty sure most of that's just noise. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that $1,300 for an Epiphone's insane, or are you kind of in my camp where it's like, well, they've changed literally the only flaws that the guitars have had in every comparison to like Gibson, whatever. It still has a poly finish. I forgot to mention that, but there's plenty of people that prefer that because it doesn't wear out. You don't have to be like careful of what stands you use, what straps you use. So do you guys think it's nuts, or I really believe that it's going to be a colossal success? So I don't know. Those are my 2 cents. So like I said, guys, let me know in the comments if you kind of dig what I do. Feel free to give me a sub. That would be amazing. And until next time, everybody, take care.